A dog's death. That's how Donald Trump says Islamic State terror group's chief Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was killed in a U.S. operation. Now, in a televised address, Trump revealed to the world that the operation to kill Baghdadi took 2 weeks of planning and lasted 2 hours. He said that no U.S. personnel were killed in the operation, but a large number of Baghdadi's fighters were killed. Trump said that Baghdadi tried fleeing through a tunnel and dragged 3 children along with him. According to Trump, he was crying, whimpering and screaming in his last moments. Baghdadi then detonated a vest, killing himself and the children that were with him. Listen in.
Brought the world's #1 terrorist leader to justice. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead. He was the founder and leader of ISIS, the most ruthless and violent terror organization anywhere in the world. The United States has been searching for Baghdadi for many years. Capturing or killing Baghdadi has been the top national security priority of my administration. U.S. Special Operations Forces executed a dangerous and daring nighttime raid in northwestern Syria and accomplished their mission in grand style. The U.S. personnel were incredible. I got to watch much of it. No personnel were lost in the operation, while a large number of Baghdadi's fighters and companions were killed with him. He tends to change like on a dime, where he'll be going to a certain location, all of a sudden he'll go someplace else, and you'll have to cancel. But this was one where we knew he was there, and you can never be 100% sure because you're basing it on technology more than anything else. But we thought he was there, and then we got a confirmation. And when we went in, they were greeted with a lot of firepower, I'll tell you, these guys, they do a job. They are so brave and so good. And so importantly, many of his people were killed. And we'll announce the exact number over the next 24 hours. But many were killed. We lost nobody. Think of that. It's incredible.
And joining me live from Amman in Jordan is my colleague Daniel Pagani. Daniel, good morning to you. Between the time we heard Trump made the announcement in the White House and now, have any new details emerged of the last few minutes or moments of Baghdadi's killing?
Yes, details are pouring out. Clearly, a large part of this operation, specifically the organization of this operation, will remain secret, hopefully for the decades to come. But what we know is that the US commando flew out of Erbil, which is the capital city of the northern region of Iraq, Iraqi Kurdistan, signaling a very friendly relation between the Iraqi Kurdish administration and the United States of America. 8 helicopters between Apaches and Chinook helicopters flew, carrying almost 100 military personnel. Among them there were people with expertise in biometrics. It was very much important for the United States to establish on site whether the man who was dying there was actually Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. There was no chance to risk exchanging his identity. Those 8 helicopters flew for 70 miles. It took 1 hour to fly from the capital city of Iraqi Kurdistan, Erbil, to the village where he was hiding. There was a fire, there was an exchange of fire between some locals who saw the helicopters. It was not probably intended. They didn't know what was going on, so this was their reaction. But the 8 helicopters, particularly the Apaches, started covering fire. Then the commandos get off the helicopters, blew up part of the wall of this compound in order to break in. As a standard operation, they requested the people inside the compound to surrender. Clearly, they were met with a refusal, and then the operation developed as we know. They killed all the members except 2 to 4 people. We don't know how many they exactly are. Trump does not disclose this number. They entered, they identified Baghdadi by sight, but they were not sure. Then he flew inside this tunnel. The American commando, was positive in assessing that the tunnel was a dead-end tunnel, and he blew himself up. The rest is in public domain. So what comes out of this operation is that there was a very, very clear chain of coordination between the Iraqi Kurds and between the Syrian Kurds and the American forces. It was from Iraq that the final location came out. It was the Iraqi Kurdish administration together with Baghdadi to say, yes, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is there, we're positive, go on. And the Kurds in Syria helped to track his last movement through one of his wives and two brothers who were getting out to get into Turkey through a smuggler. So these are the details that we have so far.
Daniele, I want you to go back to 2011 May, when US Special Forces eliminated Osama bin Laden. And many analysts then said this is the end of Al-Qaeda, but we still have remnants of Al-Qaeda strewn all over the region and beyond. Now, with Baghdadi's killing, do you think this is the end of the so-called Islamic State, or you think the ideology remains as virulent as ever?
There is a significant difference between the two killings. They are both operational successes, but Osama bin Laden, at the time when he was killed, he was not really the operational leader of Al-Qaeda anymore. He was a sort of mythological figure for the people. He was, so to say, a retired terror leader. I beg your pardon, but this is a good figure of speech. In the case of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, no, we are talking about the current leader of the organization. He was still the operational leader. He was the man who had the plans, who had the strategy within his minds and within his hands. We know that the American forces also seized an enormous amount of material that he was carrying with him regarding future plans. It's a tremendous blow, not only because he was killed, but also his inner circle people were also killed, and his spokesperson was also killed, and this leaves obviously a sense of disorientation among the Islamic State. So in terms of the organizational danger that the Islamic State poses here in West Asia, they will be dormant for a while because they have no leadership, no public figure, and it won't be easy to come out with a strategy soon. Also, there is a clear investment in intelligence throughout the region to stop them and to refrain them. But there is a success, there is a legacy that Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi leaves. One, the possibility to create a caliphate somewhere. He made it real. And second, the Islamic State has become a brand, an international brand. They are investing in other areas of the world. But there will be clearly a lack of coordination of their actions. So I wouldn't say this is the end of ISIS, but they will take a very long time in order to build again something as powerful as it was before.
And Daniele, one last question before we wrap up this conversation. And I need to ask you this. Now, the US has been criticized for its flip-flops on Syria. Now, with this particular operation killing Baghdadi, you think Trump and the US have redeemed themselves?
Well, in terms of public image, I think they have redeemed themselves. Also, we are getting details in these hours while we speak about the contingents of the American forces actually getting back into Syria throughout the northeastern part to go then down to the provinces of Deir ez-Zor in order to secure the oil fields there. So I would say that in terms of public figure and in terms of public perception, they clearly redeemed themselves. In terms of regional cooperation as well, the Kurds were quick to claim that they were participating in this operation, and hence, and in fact there was actually a good level of coordination. But the strategy remains in place, and as a matter of fact, Turkey will continue its operation at the end of the brokered ceasefire between Turkey and Russia if the Kurds will not withdraw. So the effect on the ground of the US decision to withdraw are not changing. In terms of public perception, clearly the world would think that the US did anyway some good in the withdrawal.
All right, Daniele, thank you so much for sharing your insights into this developing story, and we'll keep coming back to you for more as the day progresses. But for now, thank you.